if you have the values I'm looking for, and like even if you say you was with 100 dudes, I'd be like, kind of like, damn, you know. But it's like, whatever, my turn now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Erroneous. That's crazy. I knew he was a simp. I fucking knew it. When I saw him, I was like, yo, he looks like a simp. Oh, okay, it's my turn. 100 men in your woman before you, and you say, okay, it's my turn, and you're going to go in a relationship with that person, potentially marry that person? He said 35 before. 35 is still crazy.
Gladi versus the algorithm, no fake decision. Every make it cross-examined, truth hit harder when it's candid. Gladi versus the algorithm, mind stay driven. If it's delusion, I'm breaking the vision. Press play, welcome to the collision. You can keep scrolling. You can start thinking.
Welcome to another episode of Gladi versus the Algorithm. On this one, what we're going to do is we're going to go deep into the age-old question. Does the body count really matter? So without holding you up any further, let's jump right in.
A woman's body count matters more than a man's. We'll start by bringing up everyone that agrees now.
I would be one of the ones that agree. Oh, I'm shocked to see a woman.
I'm going to start with you.
This is not to disregard the fact that men can be sluts. That's not what I'm trying to say. But honestly, when I think about it, women mature a lot faster. Women really know what they're doing. And I don't mean to shame or anything like that, but I feel like it gets to a point. But personally, I feel like when it comes to like sexual relationships and sexual intimacy, that's supposed to be with somebody that you truly feel intimate with. And I know that not a lot of men feel that way, honestly, and they'll probably lay down with anything. But I feel like as a woman, you know who you want to give your body to and who you don't want to give your body to. So it's like when you're going outside of that comfort zone so much, or you've built this like tolerance to just sex to where it means absolutely nothing to you, it's like that. I don't think that's a good sign. So no, I'm not trying to say that like a woman's value diminishes the more bodies that she has or anything like that. That's not what I'm
But it does.
saying. But I feel like as a woman, you are kind of held to this standard. Like you should hold yourself to a standard is really what I should be saying. Like you should know not everybody needs to see your body. Not everybody needs to be in your body. Not everybody needs to know who you are on a personal and on an intimate level, because as a woman, that's supposed to be reserved for your man. You feel me? So maybe if all your sexual relationships have been inside of intimate, real relationships, yes. But when you just out and about and just and ducking, I can't support that. I guess that's my opinion on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
with
is
her.
there any one of you gentlemen that's ready to just...
I'm with her 99% of the way. A little bit of it was a little shaky, but I think ultimately her point is, you know, being a woman with a high body count is crazy. It's wild. If you have a body count, it should be correlated with the person that you are with at the time, meaning in a relationship, which makes sense as well. But casual sex is a thing, and it's fun to have casual sex, but you need to know that there are consequences to having casual sex. And as soon as you can understand that, I think you'll have a better understanding as to when and why you should be having sex. Now, if you don't care about your social status in that way, when you're like, you know, I don't care, I'm going to have sex with whoever I want, whatever I want, and somebody will end up with me, fine. But if you're out here thinking that the body count does not matter, it's bullshit. Now, if you think it should not matter, that's something totally different.
Yeah, I'll get it going. I feel like a key that opens a lot of locks is a master key, and you know, a lock that opens for any keys is lock. So, you know, do what you want with that.
So I'll chime off of that just because it's really simply put. You know, there's a lot of things that you could talk about in this conversation, but women control the sexual market. They control the dating scene. So if you are in control of that.
Exactamente. So when it comes to the vagina, the woman sets the price. You set the price. So if you choose to set the price really low and open the marketplace, your marketplace, to every and anybody that can afford it, they're going to take advantage of it.
Situation or that scene, if you're allowing yourself to have a multitude of men come into your life, have sex with you, and then they leave you, you know, yeah, that's a red flag for a man who's looking for a woman with a lower body count. Now, with that being said, to add on top of that, statistically speaking, women who sleep with men, like 5 men or more, are more likely to divorce in their first marriage. It's like almost, I think, up to 80%.
Where's that stat from?
Oh, well, we can pull it up after. That's
Okay, I got you.
I think I've seen a stat like that, but I think it's 10. I think women with 10 or more sexual partners tend to have a higher divorce rate. And I think that comes from comparison, right? If you are comparing the best sex you ever had with the person that just ended up being your husband, you kind of want that best sex again. Or you just think that you can do better sexually. So you tend to leave to go do that. Or you cheat to go do that. So I do think he has a point here, but I think the number's wrong. I don't know if it's 5 people. I think it's 10 people or somewhere in between.
The multitude of different statistics that back that up. But yeah, I mean, end of the story, like a key that opens up a bunch of locks, like they present a ton of value. So, and I would like to refute off of what you said. You said that men can be sluts, and I would disagree with that. I would say men are the makers, because at the end of the day, a man has a ton of value. He's going to be able to be with a ton of women, right? But they're presenting themselves to him, because
when a man has a lot of sexual partners, that's because that is actually being presented to him, right? It's not a situation where this person is just saying, yo, I got penis, I'm just going to have sex with everybody that I want to have sex with. That's not the case. It's the case where women are coming on to him and he's just taking what's being given. Remember, you guys give access to sex, not us.
At the end of the day, like in today's dating market, right? But they're presenting themselves to him. Because at the end of the day, like in today's dating market, sexual market, women control it. So if men have that value,
women always
and they're
control
having sex with a lot of women, yeah, their body count isn't going to matter necessarily, to other men. But a lot of men in that way would look up to them and be like, dang, he gets a lot of women, so he has value. And then the same thing with women, they're going to look at him and be like, dang, a lot of women want him. So what does he present that allows him to obtain this many women? So yes, in that regard.
If a woman is seeing this guy and he has all the women around him and he seems to be handsome, he seems to be charismatic, he has money or whatever, that's the man that most women want. If that guy is what most women want, in turn, it makes him valuable. And as you are seen with a whole bunch of guys and you hang out with a whole bunch of guys and stuff like that, and you seem charismatic and you seem to have some money and stuff like that, that does not give you any value. It decreases your value, because now we're looking at you like, yo, I see around all these guys, they gotta be smashing. She gotta be having sex with all these guys. And even in those conversations, you lose value. So now for the guy that's looking, right? For the guy that's looking, he's actually thinking, you know what? I should just hit it. I should just hit it so I could smash 2 and move on. Unfortunately, it's a crazy double standard, but it's the truth. Don't take my word for it.
He present that allows him to obtain this many women. So yes, in that regard.
I think I might have to just disagree with that just for a second. And I know I moved up here, so I know that I agree with the prompt, but I just have to disagree with that in a sense, because if I get with a man and I ask him, like, mind you, body count does not necessarily mean too much to me, but it means a little bit, you feel me? So it's like, if I get with a man and I'm like, what's your body count? And he's like, 25. I'm like, dang, it's only 4 seasons in a year. You only 25 years old yourself. So it just makes me think, like, what situations could you have possibly put yourself into that you would have gave yourself up that much? Because I do think that a man's body count matters. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, but I'm saying, like, at the same way that I'm supposed to value myself and who I give my body to, as a man, that doesn't mean that you don't supposed to value yourself as well.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you at all. I think a majority of men do, like, try to conserve their body count to be low, but a lot of people don't. In today's society, a lot of times you see people go out to the clubs and enjoy that nightlife, and that's what they do. Now, I'm talking in a general perspective. This isn't a personal perspective. So personally for me, yeah, low body count for myself, but I'm saying in general, most women are going to inherently, it's something to be, wary of, is your body count. Because a lot of men who are conservative, who are religious, they're going to look at you and be like, well, if you got 10 bodies, like, why would I marry you? Like, there's no need to do that. So yeah.
That's what I would speak on. Is like when you sit there and you think about a girl's perspective on it and a guy's perspective on it. Like, a guy's perspective is they do value that somebody hasn't gone out and slept with a bunch of people and given a lot of that to other people. Where a lot of women, and not like specific humans that I want to point out, but I just know generally there's a lot of girls that are out there that say, oh, well, I can sleep with whoever until I'm this age, and then I'll decide I'm going to settle down. And they don't realize that a lot of men inherently do not value that. They value that they've held themselves to a certain standard, and they don't just give themselves up. That's not to say that men shouldn't do the same thing though. Like I also, in the same sense, think that men should also not be just going around sleeping with a ton of different people.
To his point, I do think men should have some kind of dick discipline, right? Now, because you can get it in abundance doesn't mean that you should take everything. But the guys that can get it in abundance, for the most part, the high value guys, they don't just take anything, right? They don't want to attach themselves to certain people and certain things, but they will enjoy themselves.
I think that men should also not be just going around sleeping with a ton of different people. And then when they decide, oh, I'm going to settle down now, that, it's not going to matter to that person as well. Like I think in a marriage, both of you should limit that amount of people that you've been with or that you've slept with, because kind of to your point earlier when you said like somebody slept with so many people that they lose that connection to be able to, if you're intimate with somebody, you can't connect with them the same way that it's supposed to be and what God intended it for. So if you're going to sit there and diminish that gift that we've been given, then it's not going to mean something to you. And then back to Nico's point, it's like, well, now because you don't cherish that, or you don't feel the same connection that you should, people are more likely to get divorced because they don't get the connections that sex was intended for.
I'm glad to hear that when I was standing back there that it got brought up that body count should matter for men too, because I think it's important that because to me sex is an energy exchange. So
the question was, which one matters more? Not that a man's body count does not matter.
You have to be able to, I want to make sure that you have good energy before I give you that part of myself, right? And that we can be reciprocal in that. I wasn't always like that, I suffered a lot of trauma from a young age, so my adolescence was a little risky. So does body count matter? No, because my body count, while it might have been on the higher side because of decisions I made as a teenager, that shouldn't be held to me now, because I've done the work, I've healed, I've grown. I no longer do that. So I don't want to judge anybody for decisions that they've made in their past.
Yes, it should devalue you. But to her point, if you're no longer acting that way, then you will gain some of your value back. You don't gain all of it back. You gain some of it back. If you chose to make a ton of mistakes in the past, that stuff follows you. If you have improved on it, and you've made the changes necessary to become better, you've gained some of your value back.
I'm in a relationship and a person asks me their body count, they're not the person for me. I think that's very childish behavior. As long as you're tested, we're adults, I don't really care. I'm not saying I'm going out and being with everybody, but I'm very to myself as a person, and if I choose you, I chose you for a reason. But again, with the lustful thing, if you're having sexual encounters with 100 people, it probably shows in other aspects of your life, and not wanting or not having enough in other aspects. And then also the energy exchange. I think giving yourself's body, both men and women, to someone, it definitely plays a part in your mental health. That's why everyone, no matter what gender, should be cautious of what you're getting yourself into. But also women are at risk for higher sexual assault, rape, and I don't think it's anybody's place to tell them how they should heal. Whether that is, again, it's not the most unhealed version, but sleeping with people to get their power back.
So yes, there is somebody with the business of telling you how you should heal. It's called a therapist, right? If you've gone through something traumatic, you seek therapy to get over it, right? You don't go do the thing that is causing the trauma, that caused the trauma to begin with, to kind of heal, right? It's like telling a crackhead to go do more of it so that they can heal.
I said that earlier, though. I think men have this thing of like wanting to own someone. You do not have access or own someone's past, and you could only hope
But I can sit here and if you have your past and not you specifically, but say somebody says, I've slept with 35 people. I know me personally would be like, I know that I cannot marry you because that is something that is going to bother me.
Hey, sorry, I'm gonna go on that.
Once again, I also have a question.
For me, that's as a guy, like I'll say this, like if I'm like, I mean, I guess because I don't care as much, right? But like I'm saying, like if I find a girl, like we're hanging out, we're cool, clicking, and then she's like, let's say if it goes for a month or two, then I'm like, what's your body count? And like for his example, she says 35, like I like, bro, like, especially like how in her example, like she said, like, if you're a female who did this, like, in your past, like, for me, if we are here now, I was with 35 dudes, but like that shit happened 5-10 years ago, like, bro, who cares? Like that, like, to me, that has nothing to do with right now. Like, you did your shit, like, yeah, like, you know, but it's like, you can't go in the past and like change that shit, right? So it's like, if you, to me, if I value as a woman, like, you got values that like I can see myself with, that one fact that you was like crashing like with lots of dudes back in the day, like, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, like, you were a hoe back in the day, I can't do this. Like, it's like, man, like she said, people grow, people change. Like, you know, I'm trying to look at you and value for what you bring to the table now, right? What you did 10 years ago when you were 16, like, you know, it is what it is, bro. Like,
so after hearing all of this, are you switching sides?
I don't want to say
and that's fine.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to say I'm switching sides. I'm saying ideally, I would prefer a woman who hasn't been slutty or anything. But at the same time, like, if you have the values I'm looking for, and like, even if you say you was with 100 dudes, I'd be like, kind of like, damn, you know. But it's like, whatever, my turn now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
erroneous. That's crazy. That's crazy. I knew he was a simp. I fucking knew it. When I saw him, I was like, yo, he looks like a simp. Oh, okay, it's my turn. 100 men in your woman before you, and you say, okay, it's my turn, and you're going to go in a relationship with that person, potentially marry that person? He said 35 before. 35 is still crazy. How, man? I knew he was a simp. I knew it. I knew it was a simp. Like, I saw him pull up. He sat down. I was like, you know what? Of all the guys, he's probably going to be the simp. And there it is. Simpy McSimperson. Ultimately, the body count does matter, right? And it can matter for both sexes. At the end of the day, if you're with somebody and you love and like that person for who they are and their body count, go right ahead. That's up to you. Ultimately, think that if you're happy, stay happy. Don't worry about any of this stuff. Stay off the algorithm and live your life the way you want to live it. All right? If you enjoyed this content, please drop me a like, subscribe, and make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments. All right? Peace.
Scrolling through chaos with a villainous smirk. Everybody bold when they out behind a smirk. I take weak, but they yell them like facts. Whole timeline loud, but it's built on cracks. Fake gurus preach like they heaven sent. Whole lot of words, not a drop of sense. Confidence high, intelligence low. If ignorance paid, y'all rich out the show.